So I'm going to be immediately going into webcomic spoilers in this video. So if you only follow the One Punch Man manga and you don't want to know what's going to happen in the future of the story, I suggest you check out now. All right, so yesterday I made a video about Tank Top Master. And in that video, one of the points was I expect there to be new S-class rankings in the future of the webcomic and, subsequently the manga in a couple years as well. But at this point, it is inevitable. And think about the hype, just the excitement that you would get from reading that chapter of just seeing the new S-class rankings. It also makes sense for the story because at currently, the Hero Association is going through this crisis. Like they're essentially about to crumble in the face of the Neo Heroes, because the Neo Heroes have proven that they're effective. We find out recently when we see them talking amongst themselves, they're like, the Neo Heroes, they're just too strong. Compared to the Hero Association, who leaves everything up to the individuals, the Neo Heroes emphasize support. And that's superior when looking from an organizational point of view, which is true. The Hero Association really sucks in this regard, and that's kind of the narrative that One was building up this whole time. And then they go on to say, and they have charismatic leaders who publicly lead the organization. They say Raiden, Excel, Webby Gaza. It's an earnestly solid selection of personnel, and that is true. And also they have Blue. Blue's, he's 16. He's cool. So he's a good front man. And they're lacking that now, especially since they just lost a My Mask, who was like their pillar of support. I mean, they put so much responsibility on a My Mask. Now that he's gone, they're essentially falling apart even faster now. So now not only do they need a new role model or just a new mascot like a My Mask, but they also need new leadership within the company. And that's where the new rankings are going to come in. And it's possible that they might do like a complete revamping of everything. Like the whole Hero Association just changes and they try to match what the Neo Heroes are doing. I'm not saying they're going to put suits on everybody, but I'm going to say they're going to change up the way they do things. Like maybe they're going to have groups, like the Neo leaders and the group of the Neo Heroes that go with them. Maybe they'll have something like that. Maybe they'll start trying to train people. But evidently from what we just talked about, they definitely want to have new faces. Because another thing that they talk about is that they're losing income. It's like we've lost our branding as a hero-based organization. So they're definitely going to try to rebrand themselves so they can get that income back from all of those investors. And the way to do that is to get a new, fresh batch of heroes. So let's take a look at the rankings as they currently are in the manga, because, this is like the base rankings that we usually go off of in our heads. And, considering where the manga is at in the story right now, these are like untouched rankings since they haven't finished the Monster Association arc and all that stuff. So given the events of everything that happens after that, and, the retirements, the characters leaving, it winds up with the rankings looking like this. So we have 5 heroes missing. Bang retires, after the Monster Association War and all that stuff, and then Darkshine, Metal Bat, Child Emperor, they go over to the Neo Heroes, and then Metal Knight, I'm unsure about him because he has this kind of cold beef with the Hero Association right now. Because, earlier on before we've really gotten into the meat of this new arc, they're like, Metal Knight messed up with those robots. Because they think that the robots malfunction. They're like the defense robots that they had in front of the Hero Association, but it was actually just Saitama, wrecking them. And it only comes down to them saying your stock has dropped with this incident. I don't think we can rely on you anymore. And we haven't really seen Metal Knight since then. So this makes me think that Metal Knight is kind of just on his own right now. I mean, he definitely is angry with Saitama. But I think that's also a red herring. I don't think he's going to try to kill Saitama or something. I think he just simply wants to understand Saitama. And understandably so, he's upset with him. He wrecked his stuff, and now he's getting thrown under the bus for not really doing anything wrong. Metal Knight was helping them. So I think Metal Knight just might be like I said, on his own, he's not going to be in these new S-class rankings. Because, it's I don't know, maybe they go on their own way. We haven't come back to the story, so I don't know what's going on yet. But that brings me to Tatsumaki. So Tatsumaki has also had some kind of a cold beef with the Hero Association as well. Because also in this very same chapter, they're there have been several complaints about her coming from the city's residents. If she was exterminating monsters, she went too far. If things get worse, we'll have to treat her as a disaster. But in chapter 128, we saw that she was essentially still with the Hero Association because she was fighting that aggregation monster, which, she was responding to the disaster level. So they didn't boot her out or anything. Maybe they had a talking to her or something. But I do think that this is going to have a play in the future of the rankings because, her stock has dropped with them. And the thing that I was talking about rebranding, I think they might have the rankings more so off of who they want to push. So it's not going to be about power or accomplishments anymore. It might just be full-blown about popularity, which was one of the metrics before, but they're really desperate right now. So they might push Tatsumaki down, like from number 2 possibly. And then that brings me to, Blast, because he is number 1. So is Blast still going to be the number 1 ranked hero? And it's like, I'm unsure, because technically he should be, because he needs to remain there as a symbol. Like, Blast is still a thing. He exists within this world. So like people that should be worried about that, any threats. It's more likely that we get Suiko being the new like poster girl or just the face of the Hero Association. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to put her as ranked number 1 because that would be extreme, because in this scenario, I talked about this in my Tank Top Master video. I think that she's probably going to wind up defeating the Machine God Mirror, G6, the dragon level robot from the organization, allegedly. I think she's going to defeat that. And then that's going to prove that she could solo a dragon, so she's going to jump all the way up from A class, the bottom of A class where she is right now, all the way to the S class. And that's going to give them the new mascot that they need because, when we see her training, taking her test to go into the A class, the Hero Association dude, he's like, she's really strong, but far away from S class. She's still only 18, but once she starts accumulating experience, she could become even stronger. And then in his head, he says, and unleash her latent abilities through live combat. So we're getting that here. Live combat against G6. And then also they're like, will she become the savior of the Hero Association? So I'm thinking that this is probably setting that up. I mean, of course, one can do whatever he wants. He's always, you never know what he's going to do. So this could go nowhere and she just gets humbled and I don't know, back to square one for her. But I think that this might be like her being set up to be the literal savior of the Hero Association. And it might come down to, instead of Blue versus Blast, it might be Blue versus Suiko, like the two young faces of the next generation of heroes that are the current leaders of their individual organizations, and they have to come together to maybe stop the Civil War, or, I don't know, something like that. But I just expect Suiko to be in the S class and maybe high up. They might, artificially inflate her ranking so that, she could be the front runner. But then also, I think Genos is also going to defeat his dragon because we saw that he's going against one in chapter 128 as well. He's going to be pushed into the top 10. They know that he's attractive. Obviously, they know the attention that Genos gets. So he's a perfect, front runner, public leader, like charismatic leader, what they're looking for, like Raiden, Webigaza, Blue, and all of them. Then we have Tank Top Master. He's also fighting a dragon. I think he's going to defeat him, as I talked about him in the video yesterday. So Tank Top Master is going to be pushed up the rankings. And then another person that was touched on in Chapter 107, along with these others, was Zombie Man. Now, we haven't seen what's going on with Zombie Man, but it's possible that Dr. Genus might do something in his basement to buff Zombie Man, make him more, powerful. Not remove his limiter, of course, because obviously he said he wasn't going to do that, but something to make Zombie Man more powerful. And then when he returns to the Hero Association, maybe he moves up too, moves up more rankings, and he becomes one of the public faces as well, possibly. Now, we're still not having any more recruits to the S class that we know of besides Suiko, and that's just, we're just hypothesizing at that point. But it's possible that Fubuki might straight up join the S class as well, because remember, she said that she was going to move up to A class, but maybe they're like, hey, you know what? What if you just join the A class instead? We're looking over your resume here, and you took down Psychos, who we considered a dragon. So, maybe you should join the S class. And then maybe they ask E-Iron to possibly move up to the S class too. I don't know, but here's just a rough estimate of what the rankings could look like after we get the new ones, because I don't know where the existing S class heroes are going to move around yet, but this is just a super rough estimate of what it could possibly look like. But that's pretty much it for the video today, guys. Let me know what you think about this. What do you think the new rankings are going to look like? Do you think we're going to get new rankings? Do you think Suiko It's going to be S-Class, or do you think that's going to go nowhere? Let me know. But if you liked the video, please give it a like. I also have a Patreon. It gives you extra weekly Q&A. And if you haven't already, please subscribe as well. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.